A new Star Wars trilogy just was announced, and it looks like it's going to be episode 10, 11, and 12. Let's talk about it. Welcome to the Legacy of Nerd. My name is Daniel, and we just got some huge Star Wars news. Now, they just announced there's going to be a new Star Wars trilogy written by Simon Kinberg. Now, the big thing from this is that Deadline is reporting that this is actually going to be episode 10, 11, and 12, and is going to connect to the original Skywalker saga that George Lucas began with A New Hope. Now, we all know, like, the Skywalker saga is very, very heavily rooted in the Skywalkers themselves. Obviously, episodes 1 through 6 are about the tragedy of Anakin Skywalker, and 7, 8, and 9 are about the Skywalker continuing on, whether it's not through Luke and Rey instead. So I know a lot of people have a lot of different opinions about 7, 8, and 9, just like they had opinions about the prequels back 20 years ago as well. Now, whether 7, 8, and 9 will have the same effect with the generation that it came out to with the kids that are now later on is yet to be seen. If this is to be true, they're going to be connecting somehow from 7, 8, and 9 to get to 10, 11, and 12. And that includes the characters Rey Skywalker, Finn, Poe Dameron. Whether those characters are included or not, there's going to be some sort of connection to the Skywalker saga, and we're going to be finding out that here pretty soon. The interesting thing about this is that Deadline is the only one that is reporting this. So Variety, Hollywood Reporter are actually refuting this and saying that they're hearing that this is going to be a new trilogy in itself, but they're not saying it's not going to be titled 10, 11, and 12 or a part of the overall saga. And that's interesting in itself. So would this connect to the Skywalker saga and everything that George Lucas has made? Or is this going to be a new saga with new characters, possibly in a new timeline? Not sure. It's an overall definitely story that they're trying to tell. It could be a new saga, but chapters 10, 11, and 12 of, the overall universe, which is a possibility in itself. But I think people are going to react more to if it's going to be an actual 10, 11, and 12, a continuation of the saga, because a lot of people feel like they want a sort of a fix from 7, 8, and 9. A lot of people don't feel that story went in the right direction, especially of the treatment of Luke Skywalker, the killing off of the way of Han Solo. And obviously, Princess Leia has her own story. We can no longer, she can't no longer portray herself because Carrie Fisher is no longer with us. But there's a lot of excitement already online from the announcements of these movies, and especially the fact that it might be episodes 10, 11, and 12. Now, we've heard little rumors before, and there's been nothing to these rumors, but we've been hearing that even Disney was even considering redoing 7, 8, and 9 due to their quality and the lack of the audience response to them. Although that's not something I really see Disney ever doing, is retconning these movies, especially so soon after they've happened. We've seen that happen in other franchises, like Halloween's a good example that went back and said, we're going to erase every movie after the first one and start over from there. We've seen that happen before in franchises for sure. But whether they will do this for Star Wars, I don't know. They invested a lot into 7, 8, and 9. Now, whether those movies were critically acclaimed, which they really weren't, they were still financial successes and they definitely made a lot of movie, just definitely left a lot of different tastes in audiences' mouth. Now, we've heard a lot about like movies that were supposed to come out. We're supposed to like a Stephen Knight movie. I think his name is Stephen Knight. We're supposed to have a Damon Lindelof movie trilogy. Ryan Johnson was supposed to do a trilogy at one point, and all these movies eventually just like don't, and nothing ever happens. We heard of a Rey Skywalker movie that was supposed to happen, and apparently that's being put off for the time being. And the only movie that we know is being made right now is the Mandalorian movie, and that is in actual production. We actually heard that there's some post production being done on that already as well. So that's the only move forward. It seems like since the Disney took over the Star Wars, well, they've had financial success, especially with Force Awakens. A lot of the critically acclaimed stuff comes from like the first couple of seasons in The Mandalorian. Um, really, Ahsoka. I know there was a lot of pushback against the Acolyte, but then we have the Skeleton Crew coming out here soon. So there's been a lot more movement in the TV shows, especially like Bad Batch and stuff like that. We just haven't really moved forward in theatrical. And Star Wars is known for theatrical movies, and the audience is asking for that back. Now, we had Rise of Skywalker, what, in 2019, 2018? Can't even remember. So it's already been like 6 years. We know we're gonna have the Mandalorian movie in 2025 or 2026. So we're already looking at 8 year gap between a movie, but we're not gonna have any continuation after nine until possibly like after this movie is written. We haven't heard any release dates yet, but these movies are just being written now. Like Simon Kinberg is just starting on them. Who is Simon Kinberg? Well, he's worked a lot with the Marvel properties. If you guys know him, his director debut was known for Dark Phoenix, which everybody has an opinion about. Dark Phoenix is one of those movies that there was a lot of hype around, had a lot of reshoots, started having a lot of the signs that there was things wrong with it, but it got a really bad rap of being a really bad movie. When people saw it eventually, it was like not that bad, but it was definitely like something that could have been better. He's also worked on Deadpool. He actually created Rebels with Dave Filoni as well. So he is not a stranger to the Star Wars uh, franchise. He's worked on Force Awakens. He's worked on Rise of Skywalker. Most recently, he was an executive producer on Deadpool and Wolverine. Obviously, we know that was highly successful. He's had a lot of work. Unfortunately, his director credits may not be that good with Dark Phoenix, but his writing, producing with these other properties like Deadpool and Rebels and stuff like that, those are some great things there too. So there's some really good chances of the quality of this movie being a step up from what we got from the Rise of Skywalker. Me myself, Force Awakens, was good. I thought it was good. The Last Skywalker was like one of those movies like I still don't know if I like it or not. Rise of Skywalker is one of those ones was just like, or the Last Jedi. I'm thinking the Last Skywalker, the Last Jedi, but the Rise of Skywalker is one of those movies I'm still like, there was no direction in that movie, and it was very, very obvious. So I think they want to hit it out of the park with, especially we're going to go in of episodes 10, 11, and 12, and there's going to be a lot of scrutiny, a lot of people's eyes on seeing what these movies are going to do, because there's a big fan base there that want to see these movies succeed. So let me know in the comments what you guys think. Are you guys excited about the new trilogy? Are you hoping is it 10 and 11 and 12? Remember, subscribe to the Legacy of Nerd. We cover a lot of different content here. And to like the video, hit that like button, and we'll see you all next time.